So we all knew the day was coming where Mark Hamill would no longer be involved with Star Wars in any capacity. That day has apparently come. He has just publicly said in an interview that he was officially done with Star Wars, would not be returning back to a galaxy far, far away, would not be returning back to play Luke Skywalker again. And it's kind of interesting to look at the fan reaction to this news. We're also going to do that in this video. So here we go. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to EBN. We greatly appreciate your being here. We're looking at this article here. What happened or what has been said with Mark Hamill and his retirement, if you will. Now, he has said things like this before. Maybe he was down on Star Wars. A lot of people have been during Disney's run. It just so happens, by the way, that we know that they don't have a whole lot of money to spend on these productions anymore. That just came out thanks to Tony Gilroy. So Mark Hamill reveals why he won't return for Star Wars 10, and fans might agree. But it's not just Star Wars 10, which there should not be a Star Wars 10, by the way. They said that this was the end of the Skywalker saga, but apparently it wasn't. They have no idea what they're doing. But Rey's Daisy Ridley journeyed in the new Star Wars galaxy, is set to continue with the upcoming movie New Jedi Order, but fans shouldn't expect to see her mentor, Luke Skywalker, make an appearance. In an interview with comicbook.com to promote his new movie, The Life of Chuck, Hamill was asked if he would return to Luke's Force Ghost or as Luke's Force Ghost in New Jedi Order. Though the actor is forever grateful he played such a meaningful role in the Star Wars franchise, he believes it's time for Lucasfilm to move past the legacy characters and focus entirely on the younger generation. And here's his comment. I'm so grateful to George Lucas for letting me be part of that back in the day, the humble days when George called Star Wars the most expensive, low-budget movie ever made. We never expected it to become a permanent franchise and a part of pop culture like that, but my deal is I had my time. I'm appreciative of that, but I really think they should focus on the future and all the new characters. Hamill then made a joke about another reason why he couldn't return to Star Wars. He says, and by the way, when I disappeared in The Last Jedi, I left my robes behind, and there's no way I'm going to appear as a naked Force ghost. So we're going to look at the fans' reaction to this, but I got to tell you guys, Luke Skywalker is my favorite Star Wars character of all time, like many of you, especially my generation. Some of the younger generation, they look at the Star Wars original trilogy, what Star Wars was, and they think that it's dated and things like that. But to watch my favorite character, this guy here, this awesome 1977 Kenner Luke Skywalker action figure, go from that figure to this figure, the Return of the Jedi. By the way, this is an incredible original Kenner action figure. Great job there, Kenner, with perhaps the greatest action figure ever made, 1983's Luke Skywalker. To watch that happen on screen, it's timeless. You could watch it forever. Look at the reaction that we got, ladies and gentlemen, when the character finally came back the way that the fans wanted to see him. The fans had a demand. It had been since 1983. And finally, The Mandalorian Season 2, they got it right when they brought him back. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, that's just member berries. There's nothing member berries about that. It's 5 years post Return of the Jedi. Luke Skywalker can show up. He did. It perfectly fits into the story. The people who are saying that that's just member berries, you're probably bitter about something. But the fact that Mark Hamill is saying that he's stepping away as Luke Skywalker and is not going to be returning back, I think it's the right decision. Star Wars is sick. Star Wars is no longer part of the cultural zeitgeist that it once was. It doesn't have the type of impact. It doesn't have the kind of name that it had. You and I can just look back and remember the way that it used to be before Disney came in and did several things to hurt the brand. to, many would say, destroy the brand, kill the brand. They certainly have damaged it, and I don't know if it'll ever be back again. And the fact that Mark Hamill is walking away and he's not going to be back as Luke Skywalker, I'm totally fine and at peace with that. It's unfortunate. Here's the biggest unfortunate part. We never got to see him, on screen with Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher. You had a Star Wars movie, J.J. Abrams, in 2000, whatever that was, 15. Which one was that? The Force Awakens? And you didn't even put them on screen together. That's like the biggest Star Wars sin, perhaps, you could possibly commit. Well, one of them. There are many others, sins that have been committed. But I also want to look at, the fans' reaction to this news. Should people care? Do people care? How are they going to react and respond to this? And here's one thing. There's a lot of fans that love Luke Skywalker, but they cannot stand Mark Hamill, the person. They cannot stand Mark Hamill, the man. And I got to be honest with you. I think Luke Skywalker is a tremendously better character than Mark Hamill. I don't care personally about Mark Hamill either, with the way that he does his extreme politics and always attacking people and, some things that have happened that have come to light over the past several years with his family. He's a grandfather and he's never even met his grandson. It's a real shame. Let's look at the reactions here. Variety posted the news here that Mark Hamill would not be returning. Mark Hamill will not return as Luke Skywalker in the new Star Wars movies. They should focus on the future and all the new characters. And then there's the terrible picture. That's a terrible memory for them to bring back. That's pretty funny. I'm pretty sure we were already safe from this occurring. They destroyed his character anyway. Can't argue with that. They absolutely did. Did he watch his last performance? Hey, I think that he did exactly what they wanted. He never really returns. He was a disgrace for the Skywalker legacy. Yikes. Understand his position, but a Force ghost like Ben isn't such a bad thing and will continue to moving things forward if done right. Will he be mentioned in the movie? Maybe. Yub nub. Love it. Probably means he doesn't like the direction Disney took the franchise. I know I didn't. Seriously, killing off Han, not cool. I don't think Harrison Ford would have returned if they weren't going to kill him off, but we know it's on record. Mark Hamill's on record. He did not like the decisions made for Rian Johnson's movie, The Last Jedi. He vehemently opposed everything that they did with his character. He's an old bitter man anyway who wants to see him. I slightly tend to agree with that one. Anyway. Oh no, anyway. Respect Mark Hamill's choice, but Luke Skywalker will always be iconic. I agree. Your market insights on legacy versus innovation remind me of this. Sometimes it's smart to pivot. Excited for new Star Wars stories too. Thank F. He's the cheesiest actor. Can we all continue living after this devastating news? How can we go on? Star Wars is dated already. Gen Z sentiment on the Cold War boomer Star Wars right here. Oh my, weird. Oh my gosh, Rachel Zegler. As a millionaire living my best life, I want to use this opportunity. Oh, never mind. That has nothing to do with Mark Hamill. So it certainly wasn't going to be Mark Hamill's words. So there's the response right there. People seem to be very apathetic to any and all Star Wars news. I mean, that's how far Star Wars has fallen. It's fallen so far that this channel is called EBN, and we cover non-Star Wars news now. When in the beginning, this was a Star Wars-centric YouTube channel. No longer. It no longer is. We're going to cover things that we like, and we don't necessarily like a whole lot of the Star Wars that we get these days. We'll still cover it, but that's not going to be the only thing that we do. It's just sad that Star Wars is in the state that it is. But I will say this, despite my feelings about Mark Hamill, the person, today, I will say thank you, Mark, for being Luke Skywalker in the original trilogy. Thank you for playing such a great character that was my generation's Superman. And you did it. You did it brilliantly. Bravo, sir. You are the greatest. You were an 80s icon. And again, I'm talking Luke Skywalker there, not necessarily just Mark Hamill, but you were a big part of the hopes and dreams of young kids, getting the wiffle ball bats out in the backyard and having lightsaber fights. I was Luke Skywalker every single time. So thank you, Mark, and thank you, George, for picking Mark to do that. And bravo once again. Thank you for all of that. And now, even though I don't particularly like you, wish you the very best moving forward, because that is what we do here. Thank you so much for being here at EBN. We greatly appreciate it. And until the next time, guys, we'll see you then.